What if the trash you ignore could become the garden you've always dreamed of? In this video, we're not just reusing bottles. We're reimagining your backyard, one discarded item at a time. Welcome to Revive Nature, where creativity meets sustainability. This episode dives into DIY trash garden ideas you can actually do, no matter where you live or how much space you have. Timestamps are available below. Jump to what inspires you most. Got questions or ideas? The comment section is yours. And if this content speaks to you, even a little, don't just scroll past. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content is a small family, a real story, and a heart that beats for creativity. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it keeps this dream alive. Not just for me, but for the ones I love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for seeing us. In the quiet corner of an autumn backyard, a humble wooden fence transforms into a living wall of abundance. Rows of recycled water bottles, once destined for the trash, now cradle the roots of thriving tomato plants, their vines climbing skyward like threads of hope. Each bottle, carefully cleaned and painted in soft rustic shades, olive green, terracotta blush, dusty blue, becomes a hydroponic home. Clear enough to reveal the dance of roots in nutrient-rich water, they cling to the fence in perfect rhythm, spaced like musical notes in a garden symphony. Bright red cherry tomatoes dangle like little lanterns, catching the afternoon sun, surrounded by the protective blooms of marigolds. Their golden petals ward off pests naturally, while mums and asters bring bursts of magenta and violet along the base of the fence, nature's own palette of resilience and grace. There is no cinematic drama here, only what the eye sees. Real colors, real leaves, real growth. A garden of intention, built not from wealth but from imagination and care. As the breeze brushes past the tomato leaves, you can almost smell the sweetness. Below, the flower beds echo with life, anemones nodding gently, sedum rising in sculptural beauty, and a few bees dancing from bloom to bloom. This garden does not boast. It whispers. It tells of hands that chose not to throw away, but to repurpose. Of hearts that saw beauty in what others ignored. A single plastic bottle, multiplied, reshaped, reborn, becomes a vessel of nourishment and wonder. And all of this, from a fence that once stood bare. In this tiny yard, in this small back corner of the world, tomatoes grow beside marigolds, and trash finds new life. The garden becomes not just a place of plants, but of poetry. In the soft embrace of a tiny patio, where space is a luxury and the soil is rare, stands a tower of color, fruit, and dreams. It's not made from bricks or marble, but from what was once discarded, a dozen plastic bottles, reborn into a garden sculpture. Painted in delicate pastels, rose pink, mint green, lemon cream, these humble bottles now reach skyward in gentle spirals, forming a vertical oasis. From each opening, vibrant strawberry vines tumble over the edges, their green leaves crisp with life. Small white blossoms greet the season, while ruby-red fruits dangle like jewels ready to be plucked. This isn't just a strawberry garden, it's a quiet revolution in a small space. At the tower's feet, fall flowers bloom in joyful companionship. Marigolds offer their golden warmth, chrysanthemums stand tall in autumn's pride, and delicate asters sprinkle the garden with purple stars. Every color hums in harmony, every shape tells of life reclaimed. The water flows gently through the hydroponic tubes inside each bottle, whispering sustenance into roots that never touch the ground. No need for deep soil or vast land, only a vertical space, a bit of care, and the will to see beauty in what others might throw away. Here, among the soft fall air and the buzz of bees, a patio becomes a paradise. The garden is not sprawling, but it is full. Full of blooms, of fruit, of purpose. Each strawberry tells a story, of bottles given new life, of creativity made edible, of a garden made not with money, but with heart. And each visitor, stepping into this corner of charm, is reminded, even the smallest space can hold sweetness. This is not just DIY. This is art. This is nature, rising from the unexpected. Under the whispering arch of a handmade bamboo pergola, something unexpected grows, grapes from bottles, beauty from waste. Each beam of the pergola cradles a small line of upcycled plastic water bottles, their sides gently opened, their tops repurposed, their past forgotten. The bottles sway gently in the breeze, hanging from rustic twine like lanterns of life. Inside each, clear water nourishes slender grapevines. Tiny roots float freely, dancing in the light. Above, the vines climb toward the beams, winding lovingly along the bamboo, stretching toward the soft sunlight. From their delicate tendrils, baby grape clusters begin to form, green, tight, and full of promise. It is a quiet miracle. Beneath this canopy of vines and repurposed plastic, the earth blooms with purpose. Golden marigolds stand tall like guards of warmth, while asters and anemones peek through with purples and whites and soft blushing pinks. Sedum rises with sculpted elegance, echoing the structure above. There is a bench here, aged and wooden, resting in the shade. The kind of place where you'd sip tea, or breathe in after a long day, watching bees and butterflies pass lazily between blossoms. This garden doesn't ask for grandeur. It offers intimacy. It invites the soul to rest in the small things, the gentle curve of a vine, the shimmer of dew on a bottle, the miracle of growth without soil. Who would have thought that something as simple as a discarded bottle could rise to become part of something so timeless? Grapes, ancient, sweet, sacred, now find their place in a modern, humble garden. This is Rustic, but it is refined. It is a quiet conversation between the past and the future, between trash and treasure, between bamboo and plastic, flower and fruit, waste and wonder. And it begins, simply, with one bottle and one vine. In front of a modest cottage-style home, where the path curves gently from the gate and flower beds whisper with color, a quiet innovation blooms. It's not in grand statues or luxury fountains, but in rows of recycled plastic bottles, painted with the colors of a dream. Soft pastels, rose pink, powder blue, honeydew green, wrap each bottle like spring's memory. Hung from fences, window ledges, and trellises, these humble vessels have been given new purpose, homes for herbs and flowers, thriving without soil, fed by light and love. From the necks of the bottles, sweet basil leans outward, rosemary stands tall with needle-like confidence, and thyme drapes gently in fragrant cascades. Between the green, marigolds burst in golden joy, chrysanthemums rise in bold reds and whites, and asters sprinkle cool violets like raindrops from a palette. It is not grand, but it is beautiful. The yard hums with bees, alive with butterflies, and alive with color. This garden is a message. Beauty doesn't come from perfection. It comes from care. From seeing what could be, even in something that once held only water and was tossed away. Hydroponics allows these plants to grow without soil, their roots suspended in quiet rhythm, their stems reaching toward warmth. The bottles sparkle slightly in the sun, catching reflections of grass and sky, creating patterns of movement even on still days. There's a stone path here, and a small wooden chair. Perhaps for tea. Perhaps for thoughts. It's a place to sit and be reminded that art is everywhere, even in trash. Especially in trash, when hands and hearts come together to reclaim it. This is not just a DIY project. It's a love letter to the earth, to small spaces, to cottage gardens that grow from memory and imagination. Each bottle is a brushstroke. Each bloom, a gentle line in the masterpiece of the yard. So when passers-by stop and stare, it is not the cost or rarity that draws them, but the honesty. A garden that speaks in soft tones, fresh air, and recycled joy. There is a rhythm to the edges of the garden, a soft line that both defines and invites. It is not made of stone, nor of iron, but of transformed waste, plastic bottles turned elegant, purposeful, and alive. Along the curved path of a backyard, upright bottles, each hand-painted in earthy fall hues, burnt orange, moss green, sunflower gold, stand like little sentinels of creativity. Their tops are cut open just enough to hold water, their sides left clear to show the graceful swirl of roots dancing within. In each vessel, basil stretches upward with glossy green leaves, releasing its sweet scent at the brush of a hand. Among them bloom marigolds in warm yellow flame, and chrysanthemums in regal tones of white and purple. The combination is not only colorful, it's functional, fragrant, and soothing to the soul. The edge of this garden is not a boundary. It's a canvas. Hydroponic bottles, once discarded, now define the flow of the space. They guide your walk. They line the flower beds. They whisper to every passerby that something beautiful can emerge from what we overlook. Surrounding the border, asters shimmer like stardust scattered on soil. Sedum rises in confident forms, while Japanese anemones sway with grace in the soft autumn air. Butterflies flirt between colors, bees murmur low and busy, and a rustic bench in the corner suggests a pause, a moment to take it all in. What makes this border special isn't just the plants. It's the harmony, the mix of flavor and color, the transformation of trash into structure. It blurs the line between garden and artwork, between useful and delightful. There is no harshness here, only softness. The curves of reused bottles, the bloom of fall perennials, the scent of herbs growing not in earth, but in water, clean and fresh. This edging isn't only for gardeners. It's for dreamers. For anyone who believes that the edge of a garden isn't an end, but a beginning. Against the weathered stone of a quiet garden wall, the sea has come to life, not with water, but with color, shape, and scent. Here, old plastic bottles shimmer like ocean glass, reborn in hues of seafoam, aqua, and pale mist. Each one catches the sunlight like a memory of waves. Mounted side by side in a flowing rhythm, the bottles form a vertical tide, rising gently from the garden bed below. Inside each, clear water cradles the roots of mint and thyme, their leaves fresh and green, trailing slightly as they spill from the bottle's curve. Between the herbs, Japanese anemone grows in soft clusters, white, blush pink, and pale lavender, like blossoms drifting in a quiet tidal-pool. Their petals flicker gently in the breeze, offering a sense of motion, of peace, of something timeless. This wall, once bare, is now alive. Alive with fragrance, with texture, with meaning. Down below, asters spread like ripples, and sedum rises in coral-like forms, their dusty rose tones echoing the colors of the ocean at sunset. A few marigolds peek from the corners, grounding the scene with golden warmth. What was once waste has become waves. Each bottle, repurposed and hand-painted, tells of thoughtful hands and a heart that wanted something more, a story, a feeling, a vision. The garden doesn't shout. It whispers. It invites. Stand close, and you'll hear it, the soft rustle of mint, the hum of bees, the delicate song of petals leaning into light. This isn't just a vertical garden. It's a mood. A seascape for the soul, set not by the coast, but in the comfort of a backyard. It's a reminder that even without sand or salt, we can bring the calm of the sea into the places we live. Here, the sea grows on the wall, and flowers bloom where once there was only stone. At the edge of the garden, where wildflowers meet the walkway and the morning light stretches softly across the lawn, a simple arch rises, crafted not from grandeur, but from warmth. A wooden frame, weathered and rustic, stands adorned with life, recycled plastic bottles, transformed into vessels of growth. Painted in soft farmhouse hues, chalk white, sage green, faded lavender, each bottle hangs like a wind chime of nature. Their contents are not mere decoration, but purposefully chosen, oregano curling outward, thyme trailing delicately, sage growing with quiet strength. This is not just an archway, it's an entrance to another rhythm of life. A passage not only through space, but into an idea. That even waste, even plastic, can become part of beauty, of nourishment, of welcome. The herbs, grown hydroponically, sway slightly with the wind. Their roots reach into clear water, catching the light, hinting at the science quietly at work behind the poetry of this scene. Around the base of the arch, fall flowers bloom without reservation. Asters open in starry blues and purples. Marigolds glow like captured sun. Chrysanthemums fill the spaces between, their petals like soft brush strokes across the garden canvas. It's here, beneath this arch, where you feel something timeless. A sense of home. Of hands that made things slowly. Of days spent barefoot on soil, caring for what grows. There are no grand fences or gates. Only this arch. Only these bottles. Only this life, reclaimed, reborn, refreshed. The air carries the aroma of herbs warmed by the sun. The soil is dotted with fallen petals and tiny footprints of creatures that pass unseen. Every corner of this garden sings a quiet song, that sustainability and beauty can be one. That elegance doesn't require extravagance. To walk beneath this arch is to step into intention. To remember that even the smallest things, like a bottle, a root, or a sprig of thyme, can welcome the soul home. In a garden barely wider than a few footsteps, life still finds its way upward. Where the soil is scarce and the sunlight dances between tight walls, a bamboo fence becomes the foundation for a sweet and unexpected harvest. Here, plastic bottles, once tossed without thought, hang horizontally across the golden slats of bamboo. Each is painted in soft tones, peach like early dawn, aqua like the sky just before dusk, mint like new leaves. Together, they become pockets of promise. Inside them, strawberries grow. Not in the soil below, but in clear water within the bottles, their roots floating gracefully, their stems stretching toward the light. Small white blossoms dot the green, while ripe red berries dangle like ornaments of abundance. This is not a large garden. It doesn't need to be. The bamboo fence acts like a canvas, and each hydroponic bottle is a brushstroke. A deliberate act of beauty and function, painted with creativity and care. Below the fence, fall flowers gather, marigolds lighting the way, asters brushing their colors along the path, chrysanthemums standing proud like guardians of the season. The space is tiny, but it hums with energy. Bees buzz in spirals. Butterflies flutter between berries and blooms. And the air carries the scent of ripening fruit and sun-warmed wood. What was once considered trash now carries nourishment. What was once wasted space now whispers of innovation. There is magic in this tiny yard, not from grandeur, but from clever hands and quiet determination. A bamboo fence becomes more than structure, it becomes garden, pantry, and art. Each bottle is both a vessel and a vision. Each strawberry, a reward not just of flavor, but of transformation. To stand here is to understand that no space is too small for beauty, and that even on a wall, a garden can thrive. In the quietest corner of a garden, where every pebble has a purpose and the wind moves with ceremony, a new harmony grows. Here, where space is sacred and simplicity reigns, recycled bottles become vessels of meditative beauty. Each bottle is cut with precision, its form refined by soft, earthy paint, charcoal gray, soft stone, whispering beige. They rest gently on smooth river stones or low wooden shelves, holding not flowers of color, but herbs of form, rosemary, thyme, mint, pruned and shaped like miniature bonsai. Their roots stretch into clear water, suspended in calm. No soil, no clutter, just water, air, and light. Above, a bamboo fence stands like a quiet guardian. Nearby, a raked bed of gravel holds the memory of movement. Japanese anemones bloom in gentle pinks and whites beside the containers, their petals fluttering like paper in a breeze. This garden doesn't call for attention. It invites stillness. It offers a rhythm of breathing leaves and quiet growth. Each hydroponic bottle feels like a meditation, a pause in time, a meeting between tradition and transformation. It's not just the herbs that are shaped here. It's the space itself. The bottles do not shout their origin. Their recycled nature is softened, elevated. What was once waste now feels like wabi-sabi, beautiful in imperfection, meaningful in simplicity. A philosophy, not just a design. There's no crowding, no wild bloom. Just the elegant restraint of a well-trimmed oregano plant in a floating bottle. Just the peaceful shadow of chrysanthemum petals on warm stone. Just the quiet strength of a garden that knows itself. Even in small places, serenity can root. Even in trash, intention can flower. This is not simply a hydroponic idea. It is a mood. A garden for thought. A bottle for the soul. At the heart of a golden backyard, where autumn settles like a soft quilt over every leaf and petal, stands a gazebo that breathes warmth. Not through its structure alone, but through the life growing up its sides. Bottles turned planters, trash turned treasure. Painted in cozy shades, terracotta, cream, faded rose, each upright bottle hugs the wooden posts like ornaments of the season. They carry not just color, but life. Within them, water nurtures roots of leafy lettuce, deep green and crisp. Between the greens, mums erupt in bold gold, maroon, and white, while asters bring their delicate purples into the mix. This is no ordinary gazebo. It's a living room for the garden. A place where nature meets nurture, where tea is sipped beneath the shade of flowers grown from what was once discarded. The bottles are upright, steady, elegant in their symmetry. Their simple shapes contrast beautifully with the wild beauty of what grows from them. Around the base, marigolds bloom low, while climbing vines trail upward, reaching gently toward the sunlit rafters. The setting feels like a forgotten storybook, a space tucked between seasons, between growth and harvest. And yet it is real. As real as the sunlight on lettuce leaves. As real as the fluttering petals beneath the wind. Inside the gazebo, a wooden chair waits beside a small table. Perhaps for journaling. Perhaps for afternoon tea. Perhaps simply for rest. The message of this space is simple: even relaxation can be sustainable. Even leisure can live in harmony with the earth. What once was trash, clear bottles without purpose, now offers nourishment, not only to the body, but to the eyes, the spirit, and the garden's rhythm. Fall doesn't need to mean fading. It can mean blooming. Bottles don't need to be waste, they can be wonder. And a gazebo? It can be more than shelter. It can be a sanctuary where hydroponic greens and flowers line every edge, where even the smallest touch, like a bottle full of mums, can make a space feel alive.